Welcome again to another video about BenchEzy standard settings. In this tutorial we'll be looking at the joiner bolts tab in our settings. Firstly, we will be looking at our housing. Now, to explain the joiner bolt housing to you, if you look at this diagram down here, you can see here that we have this diamond shaped operation here. That represents the housing. To machine our housing, we are going to use the 18rh.art file, which is the AlphaCam drawing file for the 18mm right hand cutter. We can use the browse button to find the location of this particular file. Now remember that this path must be the complete Windows path, and it must also include the .art extension. We also need to tell it here what width we would like to have the tool cut. Now, because this is an 18mm diameter tool, each pass I wanted to cut 16mm. What that does by overlapping our passes, we will then end up with a nice flat bottomed pocket operation for our join bolt housing. The next setting is the cut quantity. I want all of this to happen in one cut operation. If you wanted to do half depth and then do the second half, you could set that to a quantity of 2. The direction is, in my case here, clockwise. The direction that we are talking about here is the travel direction, not the tool rotation direction. Just remember that it's the travel direction. My setup here, I'm using a diamond shaped pattern. You also have the choice of a circle, but I find that the diamonds tend to pull up nice and tight better than what a circle does. The housing size, now the housing size we're talking about is the length of the side of the diamond in this particular case, or it would be the diameter of the circle if you choose to use a circle diamond bolt pattern. The last measurement we need to set up for the housing is the housing depth. Now that is the depth of the actual pocket where your joiner bolt toggle will actually sit. Now in my case here I have that set to 20mm. Next we'll look at is the trench. Now the trench is this part of the operation here, which is where the shaft of the joiner bolt toggle sits. Again, in my case here I'm going to use the 12 right-hand.art. Again, remember that this must be the full Windows path, and it must also include the .art file extension. We've got our browse button to help locate the file. Again, I'm telling it that I want a cut width of 11.5mm. My tool is 12, and each pass it will cut 11.5mm. Again, I have a cut quantity of 1, and my tool travel direction is clockwise. My trench width, I want that to be 12mm. And then the depth of the trench, I have it set at 15. The next little section we need to look at is our join bolt locations. Now the first one we'll look at is the offset from the front of the top. Now for BenchEzy standard, that is the distance from the front edge of the bench to the edge of the diamond or the edge of the circle. Okay, so the front offset is from the front of the bench to the edge of the diamond or the edge of the circle, if we're using a circular join bolt pattern. The offset from the rear of the top is the distance from the rear of the bench, again, to the edge of the diamond or the circle. The maximum spacing, that is the maximum distance apart we want between the centers of our join bolt housings. The smaller you set this setting, the more joiner bolts you will have for each and every join. Now, the last setting we need to look at here on this particular page is the offset from the edge of the join. Now, the offset from the edge of the join is the distance from the edge of the join to the center of your join bolt housing. So again, from the face of the join to the center of your join bolt housing. Basically, that covers all of the settings on this particular tab in the BenchEzy standard settings. I hope you have found it informative, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video where we will look at setting up what tooling we're going to use for our cutouts. Thank you for watching.